through. We've got about 2.5 years of FS25. Trying to get all the patches of grass this time. And 11:20. Streaming 20. We'll definitely go past 11:30. But who's doing what? Okay, harvester's almost full again. Looks like he's going to be going the wrong way. And once he's clear, we are going to have a horrible field to harvest with the corn. South Mountain Creamery, yes. Which is a real place. Yeah, it's quite funny. I was watching a news story on TV about the problem was the farmer at South Mountain Creamery. He has a farm shop, but he doesn't take credit cards. So all of his, everybody bought stuff with cash, and what happened? The IRS decided he was doing nefarious things because he's doing all his business in cash. And hi, Hedgehog. And so they confiscated all his money. And so that was why he was in the news. And so they were showing high up shots, kind of like from an angle I'm at on this tractor. And I was looking at it and it's like, I've seen that farm before. I've played on that farm before. Yeah, I'd played on that farm before, South Mountain Creamery. Unfortunately, they never went back to it, so we only got it the once. And I don't think it's available on Giants Mod Hub anymore, which is unfortunate. One of the things I should consider, if I want to complete all the achievements, I still haven't completed all the achievements for Farm Sim 22 or 19. I think for 19 I've just got cows and pigs to achieve. But Farm Sim 22 I've got lots. Like the sorghum one and the cotton one, and just way too many. But I've, when it comes down to it, I've always found Black Sheep, even on his sort of not a real world farm maps, they have the right ambience. So, yeah, I've been to France. I've driven in the wild countryside of France, and I've seen villages that look like the Old Stream Farm or the other one. I was afraid of that. Yes. And the same with Oxygen David, although Oxygen David tends to do, his maps are real places. Now, I don't say that's a bad thing, but his maps tend to be real places, so it's much easier to get, especially since most of his maps are local to him, so he can drive down there and take photographs and then work up the, what are they, the assets for the map. But even so, Oxygen David makes excellent maps. But Black Sheep is effectively, he's designing his maps from, just out of thin air. It's not a problem, but he is a very talented, or his team is a very talented team of artists. I was kind of getting worried this year because it's like we haven't seen any black sheep maps at all this year. And that's unusual. He usually brings one of the small ones out just because it's a thing. Okay, let's figure out buttons. Push that, go. Get that straightened up and stick it back on a worker. So he's just going to back up and do the thing. You're still doing that, and I am looking at a pile of straw in front of me and turning the wrong way. Alright, let's get this running. There was also a couple of other maps that looked interesting. Yeah, that may be it. Because it was very late in the year before we got Moss Valley, and I did start out this season with Moss Valley, but I was getting so frustrated with all of the issues with the map, and I'm not sure it was entirely the map maker's fault. There were just a lot of things that the workers just weren't happy with the way the map was laid out. And so I gave up on that, which was a shame. But and I had gone a couple of weeks of saying, I am so fed up with this map, I want to leave it. And eventually it was just, right, I'm done. This just is not working. And it's kind of like this tractor with the topper for the sugar beets on this map. Tractors would end up in fields half a mile away. And they sort of, why are you there? Well, because I'm a worker and I don't know what I'm doing. So, okay. But it was really frustrating having to fish tractors out of lakes or straddling stone walls or whatever. I just, no, this isn't working. And at that time it was like, I haven't played an American map in like forever. And the only map that was available, it was like, Alma, Missouri. That looks like a nice map. I will play on that. And it has run quite successfully, I think. Hoeing still done. What am I looking at? Oh, harvester's at 30%. That's good. So the harvester should finish with this load, I'm guessing. It's very close to the end. And then we're going to need to run up the top and I start by doing alternate rows and then I completely forget I'm doing alternate rows. No worries. Okay, how are we doing? Coming up on 3 hours. That's actually about right. Okay. Also, AI worker E is blocked by an object. Who is AI worker E? Ah, you are worker E. I guess I need to back this guy up. And I think, well, we're in this tractor. I'm going to run over there and get it unloaded. Ooh, struggles. Where's the truck? I think it's behind the horse barn. We're doing quite good for grass bales. That's a good thing. So once the grass bales are filled, I'm going to immediately get on. I'll leave the baler out here. I'll immediately get on with wrapping those so they can be fermenting as soon as possible. And once that's done, we should have, we'll be getting close to 200,000, probably a little under $200,000 in the bank. At the end of today, if the current contract ends. We're only at 1 o'clock, so that's good. Should back up and get that completely filled. There you go, 100%. The loading bar on the top right, it's a little bit odd because of we've got 4 bins here, so it kind of only counts the one, and now it's counting 2 of. No, it's not counting any of them. So once we start filling, oh, we're done. Okay. And we'll just abandon that tractor there while we back to the baler. So wrapping doesn't take as long as it used to. I think they have actually sped up the wrapping animation, which is just awesome. And then, what else do we have? Yeah, then it's just bale the straw, which is another manual task. Top the sugar beet fields, which is another manual task. And then once we get to harvesting the sugar beets, that's a horrendously task. I mean, the harvester can just run up and down and harvest, but it doesn't take long to fill it up. I mean, it could take all those small fields and plant grass in them, and then turn this field into a arable field. I mean, it's not the biggest. A little bit smaller than number 5, but it's local to the farm, so I can keep the harvester local. I have to. The worry here is, yes, you are. The problem with taking the harvester out on the road is because it's a small field, then you have to harvest the field, take the header off, drive to the next field, put the header on, and you spend more of your time transferring equipment from one field to the next. If I do it as cotton harvester is all self-contained, they're not very big. They just drop cotton bales behind them as they go, so there's no worry about servicing them with another vehicle. And then once you've got a few bales out there, you can just send out a truck and pick up the bales straight from the field. Probably would use a tractor hauled trailer for that, and then have a big semi-truck trailer to take them to town. We'll see how that works out. And we'll get some money from selling all the sugar beet stuff that we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows, and we are done with the baling here. All right. I think we'll get to the end of these baling stuff. Harvester is done or done. And wow, 55 litres short of full. Oh, hang on. You know what? I wonder if that's 55 litres there. Nope. 2 litres. Whatever. Alrighty. Bounce. But yeah, Wednesday is Christmas Eve. Wednesday I will probably be baling straw. I have to. Although baling straw isn't a critical task, as long as it's not going to rain soon. Not that Giant's stuff. Giant Seasons rots the swaths on the ground. This should all fit in that trailing bin. How's the harvester look? Harvester needs some fuel. Alrighty. Do that. We will do that. Oh, big thing. For now, I'm done with the draper, although there could be some contracts later that require the draper. But we're not, right now, we're not in any hurry to do any contracts because, well, we've still got too much to do on our farm. And drop. Beam into place. Okay, let's go get some diesel in the truck. Then, okay, is that filling? No. Is that empty? There we go. It's not empty, but it's not very full. There we go. That's filling. So we've got about 150,000 litres of soybeans. That's not bad. And then the next thing we need is the corn. I don't know that we're going to have 100,000. Well, we might have 100,000 litres of corn. It's not going to be a huge result. So it's 30% done with the hoeing. Hoeing. You full? You are full. Okay, let's grab the header. And go get the corn. Somebody in a sports car with a dog. Okay. Oh, Mr. Ups is driving by. Okay, take this out to the far field. Get this started on a worker. We'll finish off the baling. And I think we'll call it for a day. I have to go all the way to the far end, or can I start over here? I have this farm quite nicely arranged. Actually, is that corn ready? Yield, not yield. Yes, I am looking at this field here in front of me, which is just covered in wheat. So. Oh, that's not a field I wanted. It's the field over here that's all nice and yellow and corn-filled. Let us unfold the header, which is just awesome. Select the harvester and unfold that. Everything's open, turn the header off, lower the header and off. Off we go. Matter of interest. Straw is not available for corn. Okay, good to know. But soybean straw is available. So I'm happy with that. Now, worker's going to do some shuffling around. And off you go. Yeehaw. All right, let's get back to the baler. There. So, potentially, I think once the hoeing is done, we should be able to move some of the straw bales at that point. I can hitch that onto the bale cart, bale collector. But once we've moved, start moving the bales, I can start putting tractors out with mulch. That's an interesting thought. So I've put the mowers away. I can hitch the 9R or the 8R onto the grain cart because it pulls things better, and I can use the big 6R. I don't know. We'll figure that out on Wednesday. For now, we've got a couple of bales left to make, and then we'll call it a day, and I can go and eat some food. I think lemon chicken in a bun. Sounding good today. And then next week, yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take to chop all the corn either. But, so we're now getting to the point where everything's manual. This is the last cut of the year. I could put lime out on this field now, which is one of the mid-sized tractors' jobs, but I don't have them available. So, yes, lots of busy tractoring Wednesday at this rate. And there might be some harvesting jobs available. For now, we are all good. So, coming up to the end of 2 o'clock. End of this row, and last of it left the home and past the part of the baler over here. So park that there. Corn is nearly full. Go and grab the wrapper. So I do want to get the kern wrapper, the one that does square and round bales. That will work out quite nicely for us. Because basically with the wrapper, boo 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 boo. With this wrapper, you can wrap square and round, which means I can wrap bales for contracts. At the moment, I'm stuck with that one, which only does round bales. And then, of course, once I'd probably keep the round baler that we have and get a square baler, and that way I can do anything. I could wrap square bales at that point. But if we keep the round baler and the square baler, I can do any contracts which involve baling as well. Okay, I'm going to take this over here and we will call this one done. So, thank you all for watching. As I said, we'll be back on Wednesday and Thursday this week. But for now, have a good weekend, have a good week, happy Christmas if you don't come along, and I'm out of here. So have fun, everyone.